Hello and welcome to Canada Footy TV. My name is Ryan May, joined by Owen Hall and Samir Murji after Canada ran out 1-0 winners over Germany in Norwich at Carrow Road. It is a win that takes them to the top of the Arnold Clark Cup standings with a chance to win the entire thing against Spain on the 23rd. There were some incredible performances. There were some not incredible performances from the referee. Owen, what was your favorite moment of the match?
Yeah, not too many standout moments to choose from in this one, although I'll say it's probably the best football they've seen in Norwich this year. But I got to go with the outside of the foot pass from Quinn. A beautiful ball. Didn't result in the goal, but great chance created, and they had a great game. So I got to go with the ball from Quinn. I love a good outside the boot pass.
Samir?
I got to go with the goal itself. We could see the work that Canada was putting in the training ground on set pieces. It came to fruition right there, as well as a great pass from Janine Becky off the corner. We talked about it in our last video, that she's really trying to prove herself that she's a versatile player and can do many things. And that's exactly what she did with setting up that beautiful ball, the great header. And 1-0 Canada. I mean, what can I say? Best moment of the game.
And it was early too. They just as soon as they scored, it was we knew it was going to be an interesting one because
it set the tone. It set the tone really early in the game, and you could feel that throughout, right? Like Germany was trying to press and kind of getting desperate near the end. So,
but we also knew that once Canada had a goal, it wasn't likely that they were going to keep pressing for another one. It's not really in their MO to push for another one. That being said, they could have had more. Germany also, my mistake, could have also had goals. It was a relatively game of two halves. Again, Canada were pretty strong in the first half, and then I felt Germany kind of took over in the second.
Yeah, to your point, actually, of Canada not pushing for that second goal, or you're saying not doing it as much. I thought they did actually in the first half, at least. In the first half, they were playing some really positive soccer there. And I believe they took Lacasse out at halftime. And I really did see a difference, at least in the way Canada retained the ball and tried pushing the ball forward. It seemed like someone was missing, which, in my opinion, in the first half, it was always Lacasse on the end of that ball, trying to look forward or be the outlet pass to move forward.
Well, I think you're right. I think it was actually a little later than half. It was, I think around
just after the half.
Yeah, I think it was 60th minute mark, but there was definitely a noticeable difference in Canada's play when Lacasse went off. I thought she did a great job leading the line. I had this later up in the lineup, but what did you make of Cloé Lacasse? Oh, and it was her first start for Canada, her fourth cap, but she led the line out there.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid start. Didn't get on the score sheet. Obviously, every number 9 wants to have their name on the score sheet at the end of the game, but I think she did all the hard work number 9 needs to do in play. I think she looked more involved in play than Jordyn Huitema did the game before. I think she was out with some sort of illness or injury, but it doesn't seem too serious. So it'll be interesting to see who gets to start against Spain. But like I said, she was pressing from the front, linking play pretty well. And yeah, definitely a great option for Canada. We're talking about filling the boots of Christian Sinclair, and I think you have two pretty good options in Lacasse and Jordyn Huitema.
I agree. I think actually until she went off, Lacasse was probably my player of the match. We're going to get to that in a sec. I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to just think on that one before I commit. A couple of quick notes from the game. There was a foul on Nichelle Prince after that outside of the boot pass from Quinn that just blew the minds of footy fans on Twitter and everywhere because it was spectacular.
I'm an Arsenal fan. I see this every week. I see us getting robbed on calls every week. I see us, pens getting denied, all this. I see us getting, red cards and all that. Nothing phases me. It is what it is.
That was an instant card for me. I mean, I'm not sure how the ref missed that. She was standing right there, but she had questionable calls all game. So
yeah, it was an interesting one. It was definitely let them play philosophy going on from the ref. And if there was VAR or VAR, whatever we're going to call it, it kind of mixes. That's overturned instantly, 100% a card. And in the CONCACAF Women's Championship, there will be VAR, and rest assured that won't be happening. As I said, QUINN was outstanding the entire game. They were dominant in possession. They were always willing to accept a pass, even under pressure, which was super key. And they broke the lines over and over and over again. Absolutely undefendable at times. And speaking of defending, Vanessa Gilles, the goal scorer, it was her turn to be the brick wall at the back after Kadisha Buchanan took the reins in the first game. How much of this win was down to her? Samir?
To who? Just one defender? To
Vanessa Gilles. Yeah. She was dominant on both sides of the ball.
She got the goal, and so you could say, like, yeah, a lot of the win was down to her. And don't get me wrong, she was a huge part of it. But this win was a completely team effort. I mean, a 1-0 grinded out win where we get a goal early on and then have to suppress the German attack the rest of the game. It's really on the whole team there. So I'm gonna shout out Vanessa for having a great game there, but it was a team effort, in my opinion. What about you, Owen? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's crazy to say, but I think Vanessa Gilles and Kadisha Buchanan are one of the few world-class center back partnerships in women's football. And the craziest part is that it looks like they've been playing together for a while, but the reality is that Gilles has only really replaced Zadorsky in that center back position for the past year or so now. So they've only had a year of partnership. And they both did their jobs today, and were both, along with that whole back four, as well as QUINN protecting that back line, deserve a lot of credit in the win today, and probably earned that win for sure.
Yeah, they all deserve a lot of credit there. Like you said, they look like a wall out there. And you mentioned QUINN. QUINN honestly proved that they deserve a spot in the starting lineup more often. That was like an amazing performance out there, and they proved that they deserve more time in important games such as this.
I agree.
QUINN has to be one of the first names on the team sheet. It has to be. They're incredible today. And Ryan, like you brought up, being brave and consistently showing for the ball, because it was a game where Canada were not very good in possession. Germany had far more of the ball in the second half and basically controlled the last 20 minutes of the game. But the whole game, QUINN was confident on the ball, both in terms of dribbling and passing, breaking lines through dribbling and passing, had a complete 90 minutes. And they were just dominant in a game where the other Canadian midfielders were kind of shying away just a little bit.
All that being said, let's circle back. I've had a little bit of time to think now. And player of the match, it's got to go to somebody. There were so many potential options. Personally, I'm going with QUINN, so none of you can take them because they were sick. We literally just spoke about them for like the first 5 minutes of this Squaretable because we've gone over it. They were unbelievable, and they were basically the reason Canada runs away with this win. Owen Hall.
Yeah, I have to go the same at this point. They were dominant on both sides of the ball. I'm not going to be Samir and go with a wild card just for the sake of it, But no, I think they were, like I said, they were great on both sides of the ball. Control the game for good spurts, and kept Canada in the game, and were fearless. And I love a midfielder that's fearless. That mix of good decision making, but also the ability to know when to take those risks. And they did that today. And I think Canada is also a team that's starting to realize that, hey, like, we have world-class players and players that have the ability to dictate these games. And even though Canada did sit back a little bit today, I think they realized that, hey, like, we can start taking these games by the scruff of the neck and really implementing their style and putting pressure on these other world-class teams.
Well, you know what? that's what most teams that find themselves being successful after a little period of sustained success, they begin to become that team. They start to become the team that's favored, the team that sort of goes out there to win every game and can win every game, even all the way down to the 90th minute, and will just pull out a win. And that's kind of what I'm looking to see out of Canada over the next, I guess we're only really going to get to see it in this next game against Spain and then the CONCACAF championship. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for them to take that next step to just acting as the elite team that they are. I'm not moving on. Samir has things to say, and they're important. Samir?
My player of the game, to be honest. If I were to, don't worry, I know you didn't forget about me.
I didn't at all. No forgetting at all.
But if, like, obviously I'm gonna say Quinn. Quinn deserves it. But if I'm gonna shout someone else out, I know I downplayed her importance. I know I downplayed her importance a little earlier because I wanted to shout out the rest of the team. But Vanessa Gilles, she deserves the credit. She was blocking crosses all game. She was getting a foot in when she needed to, and the back line was a wall, and she's obviously a major part of that. And at the end of the day, Canada won 1-0. The game's won by goals, and who scored the goal?
Vanessa Gilles.
So yeah. I'm giving her my player of the match so I can be a little different than you guys.
You know what? It would have been really terrible if I skipped you, because you have managed to segue perfectly into the next little piece of discussion that we have, Samir. And it is Vanessa Gilles. And and you mentioned it's not been that long since she really stepped into the team. And at this point, I honestly don't know if I see Zadorsky getting into this side unless somebody is injured or Canada miraculously changed to a full-on back three forever. I don't know. I don't see it happening. And how much can we say about this player and this like back line as a whole? I'm out of words. Owen, do you have anything to sort of add here?
Well, the scariest part is that Vanessa Gilles and Kadisha Buchanan are both still in their mid-20s, and that this could be a partnership probably for the next decade or close to. And yeah, it's no knock on Zadorsky, but this is just, like I said, a different level of partnership, a world-class partnership where they complement each other and seem to already have that chemistry. I'd like to keep that together. And I wouldn't really be in favor of going to a back three. I'd like to see them be that partnership for a long time. And yeah, that's the rock. I mean, it all starts at the spine. In dominant teams, I think they'll be at the bottom of that spine for years to come.
And what's really exciting about having Vanessa in this team is she looks like, if not obviously is, the best aerial threat on the team. And that's something that Canada, especially this team, has been missing. I mean, this set piece goal was the first set piece goal Canada scored since January 2020, right? So it's great to have that threat, and it's dynamic, right? It makes your offense more dynamic, and it opens up avenues for other players as well. So not only her defending is great, and not only is she a wall at the back, but her aerial threat offensively as well as I guess in the box on those clearances are immense.
You're exactly right. Canada actually recently added Jen Hurst as a set piece coach, and they actually shouted her out. There's sort of a point and a scream over to Jen as that goal gets scored, because it's literally off a training pitch. If Vanessa isn't there, Kadisha is literally free right behind her. Like it's the goal is, it couldn't be more off of a training pitch. And it's another element that Canada is going to add to their game. They have already shown it now on the big stage. Just wait, it's going to be a problem. This team is not going anywhere, and they are going to be massively difficult to match up against because there's not a whole lot of deficiencies across the park.
It's so exciting to be a soccer fan in Canada right now.
I love
mean,
it.
I'm beaming. This tournament, we're at the top of the table right now. Shout out to Canada right now. I don't care if things change later. Like right now, 2 games in, we're at the top of the table, and then later in March, it's going to be even more exciting. So being a Canada fan right now is I'm on top of the world.
I am beyond thrilled that you mentioned what's going on in March. Just a little preview of what's to come on Canada Footy TV. We will be live outside of BMO Field on March 27th for Canada versus Jamaica. We will be there for all of your pre and post match content, a match day experience.
Hopefully in the stadium too. Hopefully in the stadium.
We will be in the
Yep.
stadium. One way or another, we will find our way
Yeah.
into the stadium because you only get to qualify for a World Cup once. And the first game at home after that, because we all know they're going to do it against Costa Rica, also only happens once.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to circle back now to the Arnold Clark Cup. And I know it's just a friendly tournament on the face of it, but given that the United States went out there and won a game 5-0 and nobody has scored more than one in this tournament, it really does mean something for Canada to be in this tournament and winning it. They are currently 1 win away, 1 game away against Spain of doing that against England. In a tournament that England are currently featuring in England.
Yep.
What does it mean for this squad down the line if they win this tournament, Samir?
Well, I mean, it means a lot, right? You can see all the teams involved in the Arnold Clark Cup are trying, right? You had mentioned the scores. You can see they're trying their best and they're trying to see what their squads have. And these are some of the best teams in the world. So it's going to mean a ton for this Canada squad performing well in this cup. They've already performed well. It's going to light a fire under them, right? They want to qualify for the tournaments coming up, and they have a big tournament coming up this summer. That means a lot to them. It pretty much decides their next few years. So this tournament right now, the Arnold Clark Cup, is going to light a fire under them. It's going to mean the world to them if they could win it, because then they can be prepared and have the confidence to perform and maybe win the table this summer.
It's funny, a lot of these games have been listed as friendlies. They have not looked like friendlies to me, especially the game against England. These games have not looked like friendlies.
Not at all.
This is, teams that are, like you said, that are clearly trying, and four of the best teams on the planet, for some of the best teams on the planet. And, I think it's, like I said, we've mentioned this we've used this word in other episodes, but it's a great measuring stick to see where this team's at. But I think this Canadian team already believes that they're as good as these teams. This tournament may be a little bit more for the fans or the doubters or anyone else following women's football. Whether if the gold medal didn't do it for you, then maybe the Arnold Clark Cup will. I think it's just a great measuring stick. But I also genuinely believe that this team knows how good they are, regardless if they go and win this tournament or not.
I think you're right, and I think it's more just continue to have the confidence flowing through the team. You want to win every competition you enter, and they've looked like the best team so far throughout this tournament. They look so strong at the back, and they look like they have just enough quality going forward. They are strong through the midfield, and despite not having their all-time leading goal scorer, their best player ever, Christine Sinclair, they're still incredible. Spain versus Canada is at 9:30 a.m. on the 23rd. That is Wednesday, the 23rd, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. This time they're playing in Wolverhampton at the Molineux Stadium. The tour around England is complete. It ends in the West Midlands. And hopefully Canada will be walking away with the Arnold Clark Cup in their hands. Owen Hall, do you have a score prediction for this game?
1-1. No, I'm joking.
Don't do it.
You should do it. You should do it because that's not a bad call.
I don't know if Middlesbrough, Norwich, and Wolverhampton is the greatest tour of England, but
what do you mean? It's beautiful. 3 working class English grounds.
That's true. That's true. That's true. No, I love those types of football grounds.
And as you said, it's the best football Norwich have seen all year.
It's true. Student Norwich fans probably not happy at this right now.
All of them have
I've
already switched off when you
yeah,
destroyed them earlier.
I have nothing against Norwich.
No, me either, other than all the goals Liverpool always score against them.
Luis Suarez is a dream right there. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I'd just like to see a game with more than 2 goals scored by either team. Maybe I think that'd be nice. This has been a tournament full of draws and some great defense, and I love some defensive solidity. But I'd like to see some goals.
Look at that positivity.
I don't know, man. I think this Spain team, especially the women's side, has risen a lot in the past few years. A lot more resources in their game, a lot more funding. Barcelona women's just won the Champions League, and I think
this is an up and coming team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, they're up and coming and already there to a certain extent as well.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna keep getting better. And we haven't talked about it as much today, but I wasn't like really convinced about Canada's performance against Germany. I felt like could have been a lot.
The second half was really lackluster.
Yeah, the second half was really lackluster. Kind of held on for dear life a little bit, and I think they were, other than Quinn, I think they were pretty sloppy on the ball and were overrun in the midfield for decent parts of the game. So I don't want to predict a loss.
So you hold on.
He's pulling at me.
So a few seconds ago, you wanted to see lots of goals, and you also don't want to predict a loss. Are you about to predict Canada losing by multiple goals?
No, winning.
Yeah, I'll say
winning by multiple goals. That's what's coming.
No. All reliable 1-1. All reliable 1-1.
Okay.
1-1.
Oh, the big wind up for a 1-1.
I think Canada and Germany game should have been 1-1. So okay. I don't think it's failed me yet, but we'll go with the 1-1 for this tournament. 3 games. There you have it.
I mean, I think that Owen, you mentioned you want to see a lot of goals earlier. I think that's some really high hopes considering.
Yeah, it's hopeful.
No one in this tournament has scored more than 1 goal, but I think Canada changes that, right? I think Canada scores their 2nd goal of the tournament. I think Canada scores their 3rd goal of the tournament, and I think Canada wins 2-0. They grab the tournament by the neck. They know that it's in their hands to win the tournament. They score 1 early and they score 1 late when Spain's pushing on. I think 2-0 Canada.
Yeah, I'm gonna join Samir on that one. 2-0. I actually was gonna say an identical thing, that Canada are gonna score early, and then as soon as Spain have thrown everybody forward, they'll break the lines and they'll be off.
It'll solidify the cup.
Whether it's Ashley Lawrence sending it down the wing or like somebody.
I hope it is.
It could
it's
be
always Ashley Lawrence.
Ashley Lawrence sending it down the wing. Becky right in front. Quick header. Call it a game kind of thing. I think that's what's going to happen. 2-0 Canada. Anybody in particular you think from last game that shouldn't start, who started at England, maybe who should? Samir, Owen, guys got any sort of lineup predictions?
Yeah, I mean, just based on last game, I think I'd like to see Jessie Fleming just be a little bit more brave when it comes to her first few touches. Whenever she receives the ball, from what I saw, she tends to either like dump the ball backwards or sideways rather than turning, taking a touch and looking forward. The thing is, I think she definitely has the ability to do so and influence the game that way. And I feel like if she's a little bit more confident in her first few touches, I think that'll make a massive difference for Canada's team. So no, I don't think she should be dropped or anything like that. Okay. But I think it's just one thing that I saw, and I think that's quite a small adjustment that can make a pretty big difference for Canada.
In terms of lineups, I think Canada's done a decent job of the rotations that they've done so far. But who I do want to see feature again, based off her cameo against Germany, is of course Cloé Lacasse. I do want to see if Canada wants to retain the ball and keep possession of the ball. She's been doing a great job of recycling and making good decisions, and also she has an eye for going forwards, which Canada will need to score a goal. I think against this Spain team, they'll need to score a goal if they want to get a result. So would love to see Lacasse get some playing time, but other than that, I trust in our manager.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bev Priestman kind of is like, kind of got it on the nose. She
For sure.
knows what's
For sure.
up. She's one of the best managers in world football right now. She is
Yep.
so good. And TrustInBev, as far as I'm concerned, I really like the
We should get that
changes.
trending
Yeah, we could. Okay,
after they win.
I'm
After they
gonna say
win.
every tweet I send out during the game against Spain, hashtag TrustInBev. We'll get it. We'll get it
Going. Yes.
Okay, not a whole lot left for us to discuss on this one. We'll be back after the Spain game for a short recap, and then we'll be back the day after that for a recap of the Arnold Clark Cup and just a sort of preview to the rest of Canada women's qualifying for the World Cup that's happening later on this year, and also the 2024 Olympics, because of reasons we will touch then. For myself, Ryan May, Owen Hall, Samir Murji, Canada Footy TV, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Canada are sick. Canada are going to be sick for a long time. Smiles up, heads up, and
To the moon.
celebrate. Hopefully we're coming home with the Arnold Clark Cup.
Good night, everyone.